to Beverly Creek for more help.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. Tonight we're going to be talking about Finance 101. So you're going to go to the next one. One of the best things, many of the things at our school is the mission statement. Because since I've been here, even for this very short time, I'm truthful when I tell you that you do address your mission. It's wonderful. You know, I've been to a lot of schools, done a lot of accreditation visits, and this school means it when they say that they're going to create students who are creative, innovative, and future leaders. I wish you had been here this morning when we inducted our very first National Junior Honor Society group. It was exciting. So you want to go to the next one? We have 379 students, about 200 families, and about 47 to 50 employees. This is a picture of our enrollment, and so I want to talk to you about two things with it. The first one is how we start, and then the green is how we end the year. We've had some years where we've had some pretty big dips in enrollment. And as you can see, since 2011 to this year, we've been on a pretty steady trajectory of downturn. I hope that your school, our school, will start going back up. Because honestly, if you're going to go to private school in Alexandria, this is the place to go. All right, so anyway, I just wanted you to see that through the years we've had some dips, and hopefully this is as low as we're going to go, 379. So what about the finances? I think that this is a statement I think about all the time. It's easier to raise money than to spend it well. Poor spending decisions make it harder to raise money down the road. It just destroys everything when you don't spend your money properly. So you want to go to the next one? Our operating budget is the nuts and bolts of our strategic plan, and it's determined and approved annually by the board. Actually, Angela and I worked on the strategic the operating budget for quite a many weeks, and then presented it to the board, and then it was approved at our last meeting. So what's in the operating budget? Well, first we do our income. Our income mostly comes from tuition and annual fundraising. Okay, so and annual fundraising in a lot of different ways. You know, some of that's through the Dancing with the Stars, and some of it's through Annual Fund, which is now the Country Day Fund. But that's how we get our money. Our soft income is annual. Within the same year we use it. We like to raise money and then use it the second year, so we can call it hard money. But Country Day is still having to use some of their money in the same year. Our expenditures, our greatest expenditure is payroll. And with payroll, we have benefits for our employees. So we have insurance and some other things for employees like retirement. And then we have maintenance here in the building and utilities, supplies, educational costs. And our ratio of hard income actually is very good. It's about 97%. So this is our budget. And so if you start up there at the top, we have an annual this year revenue of $2,270,000 for tuition. And then our fees right under $200,000. We have financial aid right at $12,000. Wish that were at least 3 times larger. And so our total revenue for tuition and fees is about 2.5, very near 2.5. And so then we have some other income. We're starting a summer program this summer, and we hope to have a revenue of about $65,000. We also have several other auxiliary programs. Some of those include the music program. We've expanded that. And then also we put athletics there at the moment because we're charging a fee for athletics. So all the different kinds, even theater, anything we do here outside of the academic program, we consider it auxiliary. So we have income from that. We have investment revenue. We have almost $1 million. Nope, forgot. Angela informed me a few weeks ago that we have $1 million now in our endowment fund. So that's, I've got to tell you, for a K-8, having any endowment is a great thing. So it's wonderful that the school has $1 million. And that's very much thank you to the Board of Trustees. They've been very good stewards of parent money. So we also have other revenue, just different things, rentals and other things that we make a little bit of money off each year. So our total revenue is about $3 million. Our highest and most, most expensive and frankly most important expenditure is salaries. So it's about 1.8 million. Then with salaries, of course, we have benefits for our employees, ranging from, like I said, insurance and also retirement. And then we contribute to their, their taxes and things. So other personnel costs that we have are about 82. Student program costs are 81. And when I'm saying that, I'm talking about the actual program cost for the classroom. So that's going to be all those materials that kids use in the classroom every day. Then we have summer and extended care expenditures. This is going to be the cost of employees for this summer program. So as you see, that first year we probably won't have too much net from our summer program, but I think it's going to be a great program. We're going to do some things in June, some enrichment programs for kids, and then right before school starts next fall, we'll do some programs right before school starts, especially for primary kids, so they can have a shorter day and get used to the school. And then kids who are struggling in things, so they can come in a couple weeks before school starts and kind of refresh themselves. Next summer we will have summer reading for kids. And some kids, you like to just go to that week program and work with a teacher with your summer reading, which is always helpful. And then we have enrichment classes during that time too. So we hope to, like I said, make some extra money through that. Our auxiliary expenses it's the money that our like School of Music and others take in, but we also pay them. Fundraising expenses, even with things like Dancing with the Stars, there's expenses with that, to rent the building, all kinds of expenses. Then meeting and conferences, this number, I just want to let all of you know, is a pretty low number. Usually this number is going to be much higher. You want your teachers to be going to conferences for professional development so that they're on the cutting edge, not the bloody edge, but the cutting edge of instruction for kids. So that 40,000, it goes pretty quickly. Professional services, this is everything from our telephones on and on. Okay, so we've got pretty big expenses for our air conditioners and all of that. This is about 111,000. Administrative equipment and supplies. In this number are our copy machines, all those kinds of machines that we use around here. We lease most of them, but the cost is about $80,000. Marketing and communications, we have cost for mailing things, making brochures, so that totals up. And as you see here, we have a pretty large number for facilities. Even though we did a lot of work in the fall and summer on our facilities, we have a lot of work to go. If you get behind in your facilities, this area right here can make a catastrophe up here. If you have a chiller go out or you have multiple air conditioners go out, and this number can double easily with things like that. So we have to really watch our facilities and make sure that we're keeping them up to par all the time. We have other expenses that we throw in there, so it's about $29,000 there. So as you can see, yay team, balanced budget. Last year, I just want to explain this. This is our budget for last year and our actuals for last year. It looks like, wow, we had a great surplus. But as you can see, they depreciated our facilities and we had a little bit of a surplus, which helped us this summer. So that was great to have a little extra. And we're hoping actually to end the year with a little extra here. So you want to go to the next one? So I just thought I'd look at just the things that parents are usually most interested in. And that is personnel costs. Like I said, it's about $1,850,000. Educational needs, 81. This would be much better if it were a 6-digit number. Okay, we need to double that number. All right, here, student activities. This is everything from field trips to class trips to all the things that we do with kids that are activity centered. Also, some of the things we do in the classroom. Professional services, this is all the different consultants we use, a lot of technology consultants and bum consultants. And then these facility costs that are enormous, and then financial aid. That number is very low. As you can see, it's less than 1% of what our personnel costs are, so it should be higher. So where do we sit in just our employees, keeping them here? As you can see, if you've been teaching from 1 to 5 years, your salary is going to be about $38,000, and that is extremely low. And I hope that we get that up higher. Most of our teachers are right in here. So I would tell you that the average salary at Country Day is about $42,000. We have some baby boomers like myself who are over here in this one, but our highest salary is $48,915. So nobody's, getting rich at Country Day. The ISA is schools for which we belong. The fact of the matter is, in private schools, we are not really interested in hiring first-year teachers. So you're going to see in most private schools, this first number is going to be very low, because we really target our hiring for faculty from about 5 years to 11 years, right in here, this sweet spot, all the way up to even 15. Because really those faculty members have had very recent training, they're still excited. You want to, frankly, I try and get people after 5 years, because some people, they'll get into teaching maybe 3 years and they'll say, this isn't for me. And our kids need people who are going to stay. So anyway, here it is. You can see the average for ISAS schools is $57,369. I'll also tell you that in every single category that we have here, we are 15% lower than the Rapides Parish public schools. So the quandary and the worry about that is, if you have a fantastic teacher at Country Day and they get an offer from the public school, bread costs as much at their house as it is at ours, and we have the risk of losing those teachers. So anyway, this is where it is.
Is that it?
Next.
Oh.
All right, so this is about tuition, and I thought you might want to see this. I went back to 2011 and looked at what our base tuition is and what percent of change we had between different years. So as you can see, between 2011-12 and 12-13, we had a 2.9. The highest increase we've ever had since 2011, it was a 3.81. What's concerning, and what I think you as parents need to see, is that our rate of inflation sometimes outpaces the change. And remember, our largest expenditure is faculty. And so when this outpaces what we raise the tuition, then what's going to happen is, teachers get behind. And that's why that 15% difference happened at the school, because starting about, in this year, we were raising our tuition less than what the national average was for inflation. So, so now we're at 59. Tuition in Alexandria, we sit, pretty much at the top. I'd have to say Alexandria is an anomaly because the tuitions are fairly low here. But Country Day, our tuition is $59.90. And honestly, the truth of the matter is, you and I both know you pay $6,455. After all the times we come to you for this fee, that fee, then by the end of it, this is what you're paying. And so when we look at apples to apples, you can see that we are right up there in the neighborhood of Menard. And this number seems interesting because I think when I got on the internet, I saw that it was a little higher, but I'm sure it's near that. This is Montessori school. So those are our local schools. So I thought you'd want to know, like, what is the board number? The board's been very busy. I think the most important thing the board did was hire our permanent head of school. We are very excited about Bill. He attended, we just finished some strategic financial planning with the board recently, and Bill attended that all 3 days, and it was wonderful to have him. We're also in the process of revising the bylaws. We should have those finished by the end of next month. And we've completed our strategic financial plan as of yesterday, so that's good news. What that is a plan for the next 5 years here. We've developed various board policies, and we've got more to go. What is a board policy? Well, you want to write a board policy about spending, all right? Before you do spend money, you want to write policies about how you will spend money. Everything from how much money will you raise before you build a building, to how will you accept gifts, all kinds of financial policies, fund management policies. So they have some work to do in writing some policies, and they're working like crazy doing it. Committee charges have been made. Each committee has a charge for this year, and they all have an annual agenda that goes with that charge. So I tell you, I've worked with a lot of boards, and your board is doing a fantastic job. The many changes that have happened at our school this year, they've been right along with that and actually plowing in front of it. So special features that we did this year. Well, we implemented a division system, and I hope that all of you feel that change. You know, when you have a division system, then you have a smaller community. You have an administrator who really concentrates just on that particular age group and can really focus the professional development for the faculty on that part. At the moment we're working, we have a discipline plan for our school that was written before we developed the different divisions. And so now each division is taking that plan and retooling it for their division. I think that'll be very helpful for children. We have special attention to schedules. We used to have some schedules that didn't match up. Plus, we had the problem that faculty didn't have a planning period together. You know, it's impossible to keep a curriculum organized if you don't have time within the day to meet with your colleagues. So this year, our faculty does have common planning periods. We put homerooms in and advisories so that kids during the day, you know, we talk a lot about educating the whole child. And if you're only interested in the academic side of that, you're missing out. Okay, so what we've put in is a program that helps our kids see about being kind, being helpful, sharing. And so we're working on that every day. We have a new handbook. We've retooled class experiences, and what I'm talking about, everything from field trips to the 8th grade trip. Okay, so we've looked at all of those. And I think they'll be doing some more retooling with those next year to bring those in line with the curriculum. So they're not just, you know, let's go from school and do something just fun for the sake of it, but doing something that's fun but curriculum driven. We're also expanding leadership opportunities, and we are going to be expanding those all the way down to primary school. Primary school kids can do much more than just be the line leader. And so we're looking at ways that we can help kids become leaders at an early age. So looking at that. Instructional programs, we have special attention to schedules again, align the curriculum vertically. That's what I was talking about when I said that they need these common planning periods. I'm a math teacher by trade, and so a lot of disjointed between what kids learn in 1st grade up through 8th grade. So you end up with holes in the curriculum. And that results when teachers don't have time to talk to each other during the day, and when they don't have an administrator sitting with them saying, let's now write this down so that we all do it together. And we don't do, you know, 1st grade, 2nd, 5th, 8th. You know, you have a completely different approach to teaching in one room as we do for another. We want common, if you're in 2nd grade, we want both 2nd grade teachers teaching exactly the same way. And so the more your teachers are together during the day, with an instructional leader, then the better your curriculum is going to be. We also are looking at it horizontally, like I said, making sure that each grade level has the same approach to teaching, and then vertically to make sure we have no holes in it. We're purchasing new textbooks. This year, we've realized some things about the middle school math books, so we're doing those first. But we're going to be buying new textbooks in every area within the next few years. So we have those on a plan so that every content area, we have more recently written books. Okay, so, all right, we're going to expand technology integration. You know, they have Promethean boards in every room, and that's wonderful because the teachers are very good at using those. They've had a lot of training on it. But we need kids to be using technology in every area. And so we're expanding that, and you'll see a lot more of that. We've made a whole lot of hands-on curriculum. Everything from Olympiad in the 7th grade all the way down through the curriculum. Kids need to do more than just memorize. You know, if you just memorize it, you forget it the next day. But if you talk about it, and you use it, and you feel it, and you touch it, you're going to remember it. And so we've changed the way the actual courses go. Krista Redmond is getting her PhD in curriculum, and so Krista really leads this area for the school. Okay, so we've retooled again class trips, and we've retooled the 8th grade trip. Enrichment courses, we're expanding the arts program. We've expanded it, of course, all the way down to the preschool to make sure that kids understand line, form, a texture, and brought that up all the way through the 8th grade. We need another art teacher, to tell you the truth. You know, Lindsay had very little time off during the day, and so she tries very hard to get the whole schools done. But that would be 379 students every day, and so we need to think about that. We've expanded the music program by adding some more people who come on campus to teach violin and all kinds of instruments. And then we've expanded the theater program. Cody's doing a great job, and I hope all of your children, you know, try out for the, play tomorrow. Physical education, I think, is one of the areas that we have really seen enormous change, and financially change in the way we're going to do the resources for that. We hope to bring PE and athletics, the cost of that, into the budget very soon. Instead of paying an extra, you know, fee for it, be able to have that in our tuition. And we're hopeful that that will happen so that parents will have to stop, you know, paying out for everything. So we have a new program in education. It's called Dynamic PE. And it's a great program. It's out of the University of Arizona. And I hope that someday when you're on campus, you'll step into the PE classroom because you'll see that your kids are very active. How is it different? Okay. My minor is physical education, so it's very important to me. And what you're going to see is the proper attention to the basic things about physical movement. You know, if you throw a ball overhand too early in your life, you're going to ruin your rotator cuff. And so what's great about that program is it was written by people with PhDs in kinesiology. And so they really pay very close attention to your children's physical being and making sure that we make it stronger, not weaker, by doing things that they're not old enough to do. So the program, I think you'll really like it. Also, attention to sportsmanship. I think that our coaches that we have here are honestly second to none. We have wonderful coaches, and what I love about them is that I have not seen a single one of them yell at their kids. Nothing worse to me than, you know, you've missed your layup and somebody just jerks you out of the game. Our coaches don't do that, and that they're quality people that our kids need to be with. And of course, we love to win. And we're winning. All right, so we also want them to have a good winning spirit. You know, I like to go to the basketball games because I love it when their opponent falls or something. Our kids are the first to help them get back up. They have such good sportsmanship. And then we were so lucky to get some additional basketball courts outside. And so our kids are now using them all day long, to tell you the truth. We got them for after school, but our kids use them all day. So, the future of Country Day. Well, I think it's bright. I think your bad days are over. Well, I didn't mean bad. You've never had bad days. But I'm talking about that decline in enrollment. I'm so excited about Bill being here because you know what? His background is finance, which will be so good for the school. It's just very important that your head of school understands that you work hard for your money and that they need to be careful with it and work with the board to strategically spend that money. So that's it, Finance 101. Thanks for being here.
Make the clapping.
Do you have any questions?